All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Dealing with a little bit of a production issue getting started this morning, but we're going to power through it. This is Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, and over the next hour or so, me, you, Tom Bishop the boot, the haircut fish with the memes, Space Tacos, Kimberly Can Fix It, and Jenny Housley, the mod chat. Me at 3 a.m. already, awake and not having slept since then. We're all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of those stories on what it means to you as a practitioner. So how can you use this information to drive cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders? And if you're looking to break into the industry, don't sweat that because we got you covered. You're going to be asked in any single job interview, how do you stay current on the industry? This right here is what we like to call in the industry a banger of an answer. As I get the Chiron stood up, here we go. Believe me, you're going to get all that you need to know about the top news stories. And then, of course, the networking with the hashtag TeamSC community. Really, really big fan of how Restream changes like everything all the time. Like really, really classy move, Restream. Just going to go ahead and trash talk you. There we go. Good morning. All right. Now, I want you to know I literally don't research or prep for any of these stories. So much, in fact, that I got into the studio this morning at 7:51, and then my computer wasn't, performing at a level that it needs to. It's got a little bit of ED action going on, I guess. It's not performing, but we're going to push through and get it done. Good morning, everyone. Lara Flores, Anna Lynn, Marcus Kyler, Space Tacos, Tom Bishop, Larry Shervington, Augusta Delgado. So many wonderful people in here. My friend Alexander Ansberg's passing the CYSA Plus today. Hello from Germany. Let's go. Let's go. You crush it. Love it. Love it. Michelle Murphy back in rotation. Great to see you. Kansas City and the crew over at Toasty Pops. The voice is sounding better. Thank you. I did use our friend Fredon's Ghanaian, spicy soup solution. I went whole hog on that yesterday. Immediately left the studio and went and bought all the ingredients and got all hot and sweaty with my soup. Good morning, Kathy Chambers, hashtag TeamSC. Now, before we get into it, y'all, let me say shout out and thanks to the stream's sponsors who enable me to come out here every day, rain or shine, sick or healthy, nor rain, nor hail, nor sleet, nor snow will keep me from delivering the top cyber news of the day. And it's because of businesses and organizations like Barricade Cyber Solutions. Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Listen, cyber attacks, they suck. Everyone knows that. But they keep us in business, which is kind of cool. But they cause massive issues for businesses. They send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil. But guess what, y'all? Barricade Cyber Solutions, they know how to mitigate the damage done by threat actors. They can yeet a threat actor out the environment. They can help you recover from a cyber incident. Check them out at barricadecyber.com. Links in the description below. Also want to say love to Delete Me. Some of you may know or may not know if it's your first time here. Delete Me. Listen, I'm a public person, even though I scream in a mic all day, by myself. I'm a public person, right? So all my information's out there. If I have a hot take that you don't agree with, you could technically find where I live. It happens to be that my wife and children live at the same house as me, so I'm aware of my safety, their safety. I take it as a great responsibility to protect my family. And because all my information's out there, I want to do something about that. I found a solution called a service called Delete Me. Delete Me is a subscription service that removes your personal info from the largest people search databases on the web and essentially helps prevent ID theft, doxing, people showing up at your house. When you sign up to tell Delete Me what you want deleted, I said delete everything. It's basically outsourcing your managed online privacy. They send you a report monthly to tell you what they did. It's a really nice service. If you're looking to, basically cleanse your data from the internet, Delete Me might be worth checking out for you. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now with the special discount for Simply Cyber listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code SimplyCyber at checkout. That's JOINDELETEME.com/SimplyCyber. Thank you, Delete Me. Also Antisyphon, but more about them at the mid-roll. Guys, every single episode, including 736, is worth half a CPE. So what's up? Say hi in chat. Grab a screenshot. Lara Flores, Brandon Corbin, just grab a screen cap right there. Good morning, Team SE. Boom. Brandon Corbin was here on October 24th, half a CPE. Now, to make your life easy, file them away on a folder on your desktop or something, and literally just count the number of files in the folder and divide by 2, and then push it to an archive folder. There you go. Super easy. Everyone wins. All about good times. Now, if today's your first episode, do me a solid. Hit that hashtag first timer in chat. Just type hashtag first timer in chat. We have a special sound effect, a special emote. We love welcoming our first timers into chat. Ms. Julian, really quick, since I see you right there, I did enroll you in that thing we talked about. Hopefully you were able to confirm that. Let me know. Megan Gray's in the house. Alpha Sierra's in the house. This is great. Love it, love it, love it. All right, guys. Do me a solid. Get comfortable. Get relaxed. Sit back. Get your coffee. I'm slugging the largest cup of coffee I could possibly get with the largest bag of Ricolas that I could possibly get. And we're going to do this, all right? Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of us in an awesome wave. Dwayne finally caught the live. Let's go, first time. Ladies and gentlemen, squad members alike, let's welcome Dwayne to the party. Welcome to the party, pal. Friggin' right. Let's go.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Thursday, October 24th, 2024.
Holy crap, lots of first timers today. Wow, I don't know what happened. Maybe we hit the like button yesterday, but what's cracking? Lauren Zanders, Ben's Bites, Moses Thompson.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome. Dude, I'll abuse all day long playing that sound effect. We love welcoming newcomers. I hope you all have a great show. There you go, Lauren, Dwayne. All right.
I'm Rich Straffolino. CISA proposes new security requirements for your personal data. As part of an implementation of an executive order issued back in February, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency proposed new rules for companies that transact with bulk amounts of sensitive personal or government-related data that could be exposed to countries of concern. The proposal calls for maintaining an updated monthly data asset inventory, specific vulnerability remediation windows for critical or actively exploited vulnerabilities, enforcing MFA, collecting access and event logs, and not storing encryption keys with the data they cover. These proposed rules are now open for public comment.
Yeah, well, let me be the first one to issue a public comment on this. What are you talking about? Like, I love the idea, CISA. It would be great to have data, governance at the federal level. That's basically what they're suggesting here. Requirements for data governance. Okay, 2 things. One, this is a great idea, but they're talking about things like MFA. Joe Biden released a presidential executive order like 3 years ago saying literally all federal agencies will have MFA all over the place within the next 90 days, which we all like belly laughed about because of the reality of federal budgets. And in that same executive order, said we would do zero trust architecture all over the place. Like, guys, this is one of those ones where the business and reality don't align with each other. You can't just wave your hand and say zero trust everywhere. Like, that takes technology, that takes investment, that takes people who know how to do the actual work, the skilled laborers. So this is more hand waving. Listen, I worked in the federal space for years. You can't even get like an asset inventory of hardware, which changes way less frequently than data. You're going to have a data asset inventory. Like it's fun and it sounds great. Hand waving motion. And maybe with classified information like top secret, the government has mechanisms in place to kind of protect that at a much greater level with data classification and media labeling and stuff like that. But that's like the literally only time I've ever seen it. Everything else, guys, it's like there's data all over the place and everyone's got to stick their fingers in it, right? Oh, someone gets newly appointed or newly elected or newly, someone outgoing retires and a new civilian comes in. Everybody, I don't care where you are, what you're doing. Anytime someone comes in that's new, that has some type of authority or whatever, they want to shove their fingers in all over things because of their, like, they want to immediately, it's a human psychology thing. They want to demonstrate their value to the organization, but it ends up causing more, more trouble than it actually improves anything. So listen, I love the idea. Data is the new gold, right? Data, I've been saying this for years, so maybe it's not the new gold, but data is like oil. Data is one of the most valuable assets in our modern society. So yeah, the federal government's trying to protect it. But dude, like to say like the horse has left the barn is not even, like, you can't even see the horse's ass from here. The horse is so far down the road. The OPM breach in like 2016, 2017, Catherine Archuleta, director at OPM, got drug in front of Congress and then fired immediately afterwards. Everybody that had a security clearance in the United States had their data breach. Thank you. I was in line for that as well. So you're gonna protect government personal data, like, bro. Like, I get it. Maybe for the next generation, but like all of us, there's no Control Z button here. All right, little spicy. Having said that, big fan of Sissa. Let's go, Sissa. Jen Easterly. Where's my Jen Easterly emotes? There we go. Jen Easterly. Love what you're doing. I just think this is, I don't want to call this a bridge too far. I just think this is more of like, this is the dumbest metaphor I can come up with. And some of you youngs aren't even going to like resonate with this one. But this is like when you're trying to plan your wedding and you're like, I'm going to have an ice sculpture and I'm going to have like, an IPA fountain over here. And we're going to have water slides and we're going to bring in a duck boat and come in on that. And then like you have all this fantasy and then you get down to brass tacks and you're like, we'll just really get a cool cake. And maybe like we'll splurge for uplighting on the dance floor. Like reality and, what are we doing here?
Fortinet patches actively exploited 0-day. On October 13th, Fortinet began privately notifying impacted customers about a critical flaw in its FortiManager API. This flaw allowed an attacker with a valid certificate from any owned or compromised Fortinet device to execute arbitrary code and take full control of attached firewalls. Some customers reported the flaw was under active exploitation for weeks prior to any notice from the company. This notification included mitigations until a patch was formally released. Security researcher Kevin Beaumont posted on social media about the flaw the same day Fortinet sent its initial notifications, dubbing it FortiJump. Fortinet released a patch for the vulnerability, as well as indicators of compromise.
All right. Fortinet is, I don't want to call them hot trash, but like they seem to have more, yeah. Rick knows what I'm talking about with the duck boats. Listen, Fortinet's, kind of like the new Zixel, the new QNAP. Just you turn around and like if you're not paying attention, you like accidentally step on a Fortinet 0-day. Like it's just like mind yourself. Make sure you're wearing like steel toe boots because you're accidentally going to kick a Fortinet 0-day. They're all over the place. If you're running any of these versions of FortiManager, which is a software tool for managing traffic on devices on org's network. So sounds like it's some type of like panorama for Palo Alto. Like it almost seems like it's like a central console thing for Fortinet environments. If you're running that, obviously you got to patch it. You got to patch it. It's a remote code execution. Okay. RCE is not where you want to be if you're the defender. Okay. Really quick, vulnerabilities, they come in different shapes, sizes, and flavors. Not all vulnerabilities matter. Go ahead and ask Casually Joseph, as he's like the meme of the thumb going down into the water, where the water is actually open vulnerabilities. They're not all the same, but there are really bad ones that you need to protect from. unauthenticated remote code execution, those two things combined, unauthenticated and remote code execution, that's where it gets really, really nasty. Hey, Nathaniel Barnes, the synthesizer. I do like myself some retro synthwave, Nathaniel. I'm not sure if that's the same, but welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Okay, so basically, you should absolutely know if you're running Foret Manager in your environment. If you don't know, I'm going to choose optimism here and assume that you just started at your business, right? Like, let's choose that scenario. You started last week. You're Nerman just started at his job last week. Congratulations again, Nerman. So maybe Nerman doesn't know, but this is a good opportunity to fire an email off to the IT team if you're a smaller group, or the network team if you're a larger organization, and just say, hey, this looks pretty gnarly. Just wanted to make sure that you had eyes on it. Are we running Fortinet in our environment? The good thing is you're not going to have some jackwagon in accounting who's accidentally like standing up Fortinet technology, right? So you will be able to get this resolved pretty quickly, whether or not you have it in your environment. The fact that Fortinet is remaining quiet on this is kind of not good, but I guess they probably weigh the options. Like, we say something and then get blasted, or we say nothing and get blasted. So maybe you do that. Oh, Eric Taylor's chiming in that Foret Manager, which is the technology that's in question here, is a management tool for the standalone FortiGate firewalls like vCenter for ESXi servers. Okay, yeah, so it's like if a Fortinet environment were to merge like Voltron, the Foret Manager would be the head, right? And then the arms and legs would be like FortiGate. All right. It also affects FortiAnalyzer products. Okay. So this information's coming in. Absolutely love hashtag Team SC. For you first timers here, I'm up here spitting, but the community is also very, very plugged in and very, very helpful. So definitely appreciate that. Yes, definitely going to use the Oprah emote because it takes a community. You get a vulnerability. Also, quick early joke of the week. Toasty Pops out of the Kansas City crew. Hashtag Forta not yet. You can see here in the write-up they used Shodan. If you don't know what Shodan is, go to shodan.io, the website. You'll be glad you have that bookmarked. You can use Shodan, and they say that they have discovered 60,000 devices connected to the internet. I don't know if it requires any type of authentication. It seems pretty gnarly, though. So, there you go. Fortinet, you burnt. You gotta patch it.
UK report on Cyber Essentials certification. Back in 2014, the UK government launched Cyber Essentials certification, a self-assessment program based around 5 technical controls. To mark the 10-year anniversary, the UK government released an independent impact evaluation. This found that 86% of respondents state that Cyber Essentials directly strengthens senior management's understanding of cyber attack risks, with 76% taking additional preventative security measures beyond Cyber Essentials requirements. The UK's National Cybersecurity Centre also claims that insurance data shows that organizations in Cyber Essentials are 92% less likely to make a claim on their insurance than those without it. Adoption of Cyber Essentials still has a long way to go, with 31,000 organizations certified. That's less than 1% of those eligible in the UK. Cybersecurity Minister Farrell Clark said the government's next priority will be promoting Cyber Essentials certification down through an organization's supply chain.
All right. I haven't, this is GRC all day, every day. And for all you first timers, I'm a big GRC dork, so get ready for that. I haven't heard of this Cyber Essentials thing yet. I do want to see what it is. It looks like it's essentially the UK's version of like 800-171, right? It's your pip cheerio, drive on the wrong side of the road version of 800-171, drinking your warm beer and your rainy weather. Roswell, UK, I say that with all the love in my heart. When they say trickle down cyber economics, they are doing a play on words. I believe it was Reaganomics, like Ronald Reagan. You youngs, you can Google that. He was the president in the 80s. I believe it was his economics had this trickle down economic thing, and it was supposed to help everyone. Didn't necessarily do that. The idea here is that large organizations who have a lot of sway would implement Cyber Essentials, right? Chances are large organizations are already doing better than that. But what they would do is they would include it in contract requirements. So I'm Amazon and Jesse Johnson wants to do business with me. And I'm like, yeah, sure. No problem, Jesse Johnson. But you need to comply with Cyber Essentials. If you don't do that, you don't get the money, right? Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie.
It'd be stunning how quickly Jesse Johnson gets on the Cyber Essentials train if I talk about not paying him. This is the same, literally, this is the same thing that we're seeing in the United States right now with CMMC, Charlie, Michael, Charlie. This is going to take effect in early 2025, where if you're bidding on US DoD contracts as a small business, which there's a ton of them, you won't be able to win the contract unless you demonstrate compliance with CMMC at the correct level, which, without giving you a popsicle headache, trickles down into basically like 25 controls that are basic, fundamental, or ding, 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 essential controls that you need to implement in your organization. And if you don't do it, you don't get to play with the DoD, right? So now you're hitting me in the pocketbook, and that's what's up with that. So Cyber Essential Certification Scheme, good on you, Britain. I think it's cool. I do think it's funny that they announced that it's got, they're delighted with the, a decade after its launch, they're delighted with the progress. Although the cyber attacks in the country are a record high. I'm just thinking, like, the movie Titanic, where like the 5 guys are playing violins and the boat's going down and they're like just continuing to play the music. Like, it's like 5 GRC people like having a poem meeting while the boat's going down. All right. Listen, every little bit helps. Keep moving forward, normalizing cybersecurity and normalizing basic fundamental controls like MFA. You won't find a bigger champion than me. Get in here. Everybody needs to do it. What I do want to know is what is in Cyber Essentials. There we go. I'm here right now. I would assume this is some basic, CIS 18 implementation guidance once level. Okay, so Roswell, UK is saying it's required for big UK contracts. Yeah, so that's right. So I think what they're doing is requiring the big dogs to do it. That way the big dogs will require it from the small dogs who are, or like the little feeder fish that are swimming around the sharks. That's what's up. It's too bad I'm not going to do this on stream right now, but what I would like to see is the brass tacks of what the controls are that you're supposed to implement. All right. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, I'll look at this later. Pretty cool, though.
U.S. using TLP protocol for info sharing. Information sharing between U.S. government agencies has been a priority made explicit in the U.S. National Cybersecurity Strategy for 2023. The government reiterated its commitment to using the traffic light protocol for this sharing with the cybersecurity community and private companies. These provide clear indications of what information from the government can be published or shared with others using the well-understood red, yellow, green traffic light metaphor. TLP was first used for information classification by the UK government back in the early 2000s. TLP indicators themselves are not considered legally binding.
All right.
And now
So TLP, traffic light protocol, it's basically it's exactly what it sounds like. When you release a piece of threat intelligence and share it with, a community of interest, or as like taxi sticks ingestions for your technology stacks, it's usually like threat intel reports, though, like human consumable information. There's always a color associated with it. TLP, there's red, there's amber. I don't know if there's green, but there's white and there's clear. I'm pretty sure about that. And basically it's like a classification system on, here it is right here. Red, yellow, green, and then clear. Clear, I guess maybe clear and white are the same thing. You can see there's just rules for it. The red one, you can't disclose it. It's being shared with you exclusively, and you're not to do it. Amber, you can share it with some people in the community. There's just rules, right? This has been around for a long time. So I'm not quite sure what the news story here is. CISA shares a lot of threat intel, kind of I don't know how to explain it. Like kind of like wink, wink, nod, nod. Through their known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, wink, wink, nod, nod, meaning that they're seeing it being a really big problem and that they need people to be aware of it, but they don't want to disclose any type of OPSEC on where they're seeing it or who's attacking what. So this to me sounds like the federal government's going to try to expand into multiple agencies. So I would think this means like, whatever, Department of Agriculture has, SOC analysts or something that see something and they're able to share it across a wider industry. This does make sense, honestly. Like CISA in the public-private sector collaborations have been working towards better intel sharing, better information sharing. Yeah, look at this. So in the story, it says, again, I don't read these stories in advance, so I don't know what I'm going to be seeing here. But DHS's CISA agency co-chair is the first special interest group where TLP is governed, right? So no surprise, right? You should think of CISA as essentially like America's SecOps. That's what CISA is. They're the SecOps of the United States. So they're governing that. They're already sharing intel. I got to tell you, honestly, this story confuses me because like we already used the TLP protocol for threat intel sharing. So like, I don't see how I don't understand what the new part is of it, but whatever. Let's keep going. 8:29. We're going to get to the mid-roll and we got Dan's meme of the week, custom memes coming in hot and spicy.
Thanks to today's episode sponsor, SpyCloud. Stolen data is a hot commodity for cybercriminals. Using info-stealing malware, bad actors can siphon valid session cookies from employee devices, scoring the keys to access your networks and systems. According to SpyCloud's latest research, security teams are now seeing stolen cookies among the top 3 entry points for initial access for ransomware. Get the full insights, including other risk factors, at spycloud.com/headlines. That's spycloud.com/headlines.
All right, y'all. Guess what? It's the mid-roll. So many first-timers here. You're going to love this. We do this every day. All right. Hey, we got the mid-roll here. I hope you're enjoying the living hell out of this show. Thank you to the stream sponsors, Barricade Cyber, Delete Me, and Antisyphon. Antisyphon training, they're straight up disrupting the way that traditional cybersecurity training is done. This is very much a not your dad's cybersecurity training company. They are providing high-quality, cutting-edge education that has practical skill application. So it's not just theory. They're having their instructors be industry practitioners with extensive experience, bringing that knowledge from the workforce into the classroom. And they do it in a really fun and inclusive way. If you're enjoying the way that the Simply Cyber community is banging around in chat right now, that's exactly how the class is for all the Antisyphon trainings. On top of that, you can do it regardless of financial position. That means a lot of their classes, it's super affordable or you pay what you can. I want to call your attention specifically. There's still time to register for this. I haven't registered, but I might register. Like, I've just been busy and sick. November 4th through November 7th, John Strand. And if you don't know who John Strand is, allow me to introduce you. John Strand from Black Hills, wonderful guy, great practitioner, industry leader. He's teaching this course, Getting Started in Security with Black Hills and MITRE ATT&CK. And if you already work in security, don't think that you're too good for this class. You can learn some really great gems. You can network the living hell out of it with other students in chat. You can have a great experience. And who knows, maybe you learn a thing or two about MITRE ATT&CK. Go to antisyphontraining.com, hit the link in chat right now, and go ahead and register. I'll let you know if I register for the course. You could take it alongside me and many of the Simply Cyber community members. Hashtag Team SC, all up in here. if you're getting value from the stream, my friends, do me a solid, do the community a solid, hit the like button on YouTube. I don't care about the number of likes I get. It does not fill my cups to be like, oh, like it's not like I go to bed at night and like hold my wife and I'm like, oh, babe, I got 327 likes today. No. The whole reason I ask you to hit the like button is simply to trigger the YouTube algorithm so other people who are interested in cybersecurity content will be made aware by YouTube about what we're doing here. So many first timers today. I don't know where you all came from, but we're wicked happy to have you. All right. Now, every single day of the week has a special segment, and Thursdays is Dan Reardon, aka the Haircut Fish's meme of the week. So one of the community members in chat right now, he can say hi, the Haircut Fish. He makes memes all the time. They're wonderful. And he makes a special one every week for us. All right. Now, usually we're gonna do a twofer. We're gonna do two today, okay? So this is the first one, okay? All right. Now, I said this in my keynote at Wild West Hackin' Fest the other way. I think it was at Wild West Hackin' Fest. I do have spicy, strong takes. And I believe AI is going to be better for SecOps than red teamers. Shall we play a game? Now, I know normally I think the sign is supposed to say, convince me I'm wrong or argue with me. I think I announced to like a crowd of 1,000 people that if anyone disagreed with me, I would fight them, which is totally not my speed. I am not a fighter. If you've known me for a minute, I'm much more of a hugger. But Dan Reardon whipped this one up. Very good. We're going to do a twofer because this next one is unbelievably good. And I want you all to see it. On Monday this week, I was feeling pretty sick. And Eric Taylor from Barricade Cyber, maybe it was Tuesday, jumped in and took over the show. And at one point, he got asked about how does a C2 framework or C2 infrastructure work. And he went ahead and jumped on MS Paint and whipped up an answer for everybody. I'm going to go ahead and let you see what Dan Reardon, a.k.a. the Haircut Fish, has whipped up for us while we get our la-la-las on. Here we go. Get ready. This is priceless. There we go. That's Eric Taylor from Barricade Cyber, longtime mod community member, and showing off his MS Paint. This is priceless. La, 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 la. All right. Thank you all so very much. I hope you're enjoying the show. Let's get back to the second half and keep on crushing it. Also, John Brock, see you about the Indianapolis Cyber Summit. Thanks for telling ThreatLocker. You saw it here. Definitely appreciate that.
LockBit returns. Not. LockBit remains so popular, it's still attracting imitators.
Oh my God.
Researchers at SentinelOne spotted a new malware family it dubbed NotLockBit, written in Go and targeted both Windows and Mac OS. While other ransomware has been demonstrated on Mac OS as a proof of concept, SentinelOne researchers believe this is the first functional ransomware targeting the OS. Once executed, NotLockBit appends files with the .abcd extension upon encryption. It also replaces the desktop wallpaper with the LockBit 2.0 banner. Trend Micro researchers found the malware also exfiltrates data to an Amazon S3 bucket and shows signs of active development.
That's interesting. So LockBit ransomware, the head guy behind it, Dimitri, he got doxxed by law enforcement. I think he's on the run. LockBit definitely got, it was the Operation Kronos, if you're interested in learning more about this. Operation Kronos. Not to be confused with Kronos Trigger. There's Operation Kronos right here. Europol, Interpol. All the polls totally disrupt and kicked a mud hole in the side of LockBit's organization. So they're all pushed to the side. Guys, ransomware threat actors are like cockroaches, right? Like they're just everywhere. They just pop up. NotLockBit, which is hilarious. I think that the industry named them NotLockBit, not the threat actors. Usually threat actors kind of like name themselves by their extension, or they self-identify as like Medusa or whatever. So these guys got hit with NotLockBit. If I had to guess, there's nothing particularly tactical about this story that you can do anything to drive cyber risk reduction. It's ransomware. It does attack Mac OS, so you can go tell your executive team, who are the only ones running Macs in your environment, that, you know, viruses and malware exist for Macs. Just be aware. I don't know what the delivery vehicle is for this. It attacks Windows and Macs. Okay, I was going to say, it says shadow copies. I'm like, what are we talking about here? I don't know what the attack vector is, whether it's like email and then your classic like dropper and then, you know, pulling down payloads. At the end of the day, you want to have a holistic approach to ransomware protection and resiliency, right? You want it to be unlikely to happen, but when it does detonate, you want the impact to be lower, and you want the ability to recover and continue business operations in some capacity. We've gotten better. We've had, you know, basically 7 years now to refine, lesson learn, keep improving. A lot of security technologies have come out that are helping organizations, which is why we're actually seeing more data exfil than we're seeing encryption now, because the threat actors encryption is getting thwarted, if you will. The one thing that I would pull out of this personally for myself is I suspect that this threat actor chose to impersonate LockBit simply for credibility, right? Like if you think you got hit by LockBit, you can Google LockBit. And if you don't know any better, you're like, holy crap, look at this. This is a legit threat actor. We should get our crap together, versus like some new name. I really think that's what they're doing. They're literally just trying to ride the coattails of what LockBit has done. So it is what it is. Bryant O, first timer for the episode and learning a new career field. Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Yep. Hey, Bryant O, you came to the right place, my friend.
UK court rules you can sue governments for spyware.
Okay.
The UK's High Court ruled that Yaha Asiri, a UK resident and Saudi human rights activist, can sue the Saudi Arabian government for allegedly using NSO Group's Pegasus spyware on him. Asiri said he would be willing to drop the suit if the Saudi government released other human rights activists jailed in the country. If the two parties do not settle, the case could go to trial in the UK.
Okay. How's that work? I mean, I get it. An individual got targeted by a government, but like, if you take him to court, like who's going to jail? The Saudi government? That's the dumbest thing I've heard in a while. All right. So here's the deal. And maybe I'm ignorant, and this story makes a ton of sense. Here's the deal. The Saudi government definitely exploiting spyware, NSO Pegasus software on essentially investigative reporter, dissidents, people who are trying to bring attention to civil injustices and human rights violations. Different countries around the world, you know, people in power do things to retain their power and also just, you know, exploit their power, right? Or they're not corrupted by their power. But so this guy calling him out, they get infected with Pegasus. I do want to point out, Pegasus is not supposed to be used on journalists, for example, but, you know, NSO Group vets their clients, but you know what?
Straight cash, homie.
Everybody's got a number. Everybody's got a number. So, you know, for $2 million, maybe you don't look as hard at me and what my intended use cases are, or you just rubber stamp my request that we're going to use it for law enforcement purposes. Money talks, man. Pegasus spyware is really top-end spyware. It's zero-click infection of Apple devices. You can't stop someone from texting you, okay? It's election season in the United States, and I've been getting friggin' unsolicited text messages for like local county officials, and you know, David O'Neill Corner wants you to vote for him. It's like, I don't even know David O'Neill, nor do I want your text messages up in my phone. Thank God it's not 2005, you youngs would never know it, but you used to have to pay for text messages. You'd get like, 200 text messages a month, so you'd really have to like budget them. Fun fact, side note, I remember in 2005, I actually wrote like a script. I think it was like a Perl script that would just, first of the month, it would just send just a barrage of text to my friend Bo and just piss through his budget the first day. He really didn't like that, but it was funny, It was I was 24 or something, we did crazy things. All right, so hey, I will tell you this: if this guy does get to take it to court, I would call it precedent setting on the use of spyware and being held accountable. I just don't see how like anyone from Saudi Arabia is going to go willingly to the United Kingdom to stand on trial. It seems kind of dumb.
Google rolls out enhanced spam protection. Google added new safety features in the beta of its Messages Android app. This includes scam detections using onboard ML to automatically move scam text into a spam folder. It'll start by targeting package delivery and job applications spam messages. The company also plans to launch a unified system for public key verification across different messaging apps using QR codes early next year. It will also change optional spam filters to defaults in messages, like warning users when they're getting a link from an unknown sender and automatically hiding messages from international senders that are not in your contacts. It'll also add an on-device opt-in sensitive content warnings feature to blur any detected nudity in received messages.
Cool. I don't know who's sending nudes. Maybe I've been out of the game for a while. I'm happily married, so I don't know if like there's like an entire Gen Z scene going on of just like sending nudes for no reason, but like whatever. Here's what I'll say about this. Google Messages, I don't know. I assume this is like an Android feature. I live in an Apple world, right? Kind of, I guess we're going to do karaoke. It's like, that song Barbie? I could be like, I'm an Apple girl in an Apple world. I don't know anything else. Listen, so Google Messages. I love this. I hope Apple does this as well. Here is the TLDRs. It sounds like you don't have to do anything to realize the value from these protection mechanisms. Okay, this is going to help. This is going to help Michelle Murphy, Roswell, UK, my Aunt Dorothea, my cousin Pat, Carl in accounting, and you first timers. Carl is like a avatar that we use here for a typical end user who makes bad choices, clicks on things, etc. My bigger takeaway here is this is a great opportunity I would probably remove the nudity part from it, but sending a message to your end user community about how if you use Android devices and use Google Messages, you're going to be getting some free enhanced security controls automatically to protect you. Just make them aware. This is an opportunity to like continue to normalize cybersecurity. My favorite part about this, and I want more of this in my life, the best part about this is you don't really have to do anything. I've been saying this for years, okay? All right. Take it away from the end user, okay? Taking it away from the end user is so hot.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Here's the reality. If you can introduce protection controls, like putting, I don't want to call end users and non-tech cyber people children, but just for the sake of this discussion, allow me this grace. It's like wrapping your children in bubble wrap. They don't have to worry or putting like knee pads, elbow pads, and a helmet on them when they're trying to learn their bike riding. Like, just put it on. They don't have to opt into anything. They don't have to remember anything. They don't have to have a degradation in experience and functionality. That just happens. They're just protected from themselves. I love this. I want more of this all day, every day. If you remove the requirement for the human, non-cyber, non-IT person, elderly person, child, people without experience, international, right? Whatever. If you remove the necessity of them to have to take action to realize the value of a control and you just give them the control, you're going to lift the boats in the harbor are all going to go up. I love this all day. What do you want to poll for? Per Turnston? Okay, I don't know. I don't know what poll you want on, but let's go.
DeFi game used to exploit Chrome 0 Day. Researchers from Kaspersky detailed a campaign by North Korea's Lazarus Group that used an NFT-based game as a lure to install its tried-and-true manuscript backdoor. Lazarus promoted the game to Tank Zone through spear phishing, as well as with ads on X and LinkedIn DMs. The game loads to a login screen, which then points users to the game's website to complete registration. The site uses a hidden script to trigger a Chrome V8 JavaScript confusion vulnerability used to overwrite sections of Chrome's compiler to get access to the browser's entire address space. Lazarus seems to use this for reconnaissance to see if the victim was valuable enough to continue attacking. Chrome patched the flaw in V8 back in March.
Okay. So this is almost like a post-mortem, if you will. If you're running Chrome, they patched this in March. Chrome, in my opinion, is pretty good about being annoying, about updating and restarting your browser and everything like that. So TLDR, you got to patch it. You got to patch it. Now, what they're doing here, this is more on brand for Lazarus Group. This North Korean fake IT workers and Lazarus doing some other stuff, Kim Suki, espionage, like whatever. These are fine, but Lazarus, I guess, is attacked. They continue to attack crypto, right? They attacked the Axie Infinity Ronin Bridge to the tune of like $560 million last year. They've stolen massive amounts of crypto all over the place. I'm trying to understand what the story here is. If you were using Google Chrome, so this is definitely a crime of opportunity too, because if you're running Firefox and you go access this system, the exploit's not going to work. Okay. When you went to dtankzone.com, does not sound hot. It would basically exploit a weakness in the Google Chrome JavaScript engine, and it said get access to all of the address space the Google Chrome process is running in. Again, this is more complicated, but essentially what they're doing here is Google Chrome has, memory allocated. Google Chrome is actually kind of a pig, if I'm being honest, as far as like memory requirements, memory allocation, etc. Especially for me, where I'm running like 75 tabs at all times. But it compartmentalizes where its processes are and stuff like that. This exploitation allows the attacker visibility across the entire address space, which means they can then query it for information and, I guess, understand whether or not the victim that they've targeted is valuable enough to further exploit, right? So if it's just some, it's my 12-year-old who doesn't have two nickels to rub together, Lazarus isn't going to spend any more time, energy, or effort on it. But then they find out it's some like big whale who's got a huge crypto wallet with 30 Bitcoins in it or something. Then they're going to go for it, right? At the end of the day, there's two things going on here. And this is lesson learned for people who are new to the industry or old people, or not old, but like olds in the industry who want to just vibe with me. This was the cyber kill chain, except it's more elegant and more, complicated. The cyber kill chain, first step is recon. And then you basically figure out what you're doing, attack, exploit, get in there, persistence. And then the final step is actions on objectives. What Lazarus Group is doing right here is sophisticated and not trivial in any way. But what they're doing is they're essentially, it looks like North Korean Daft Punk versions. But what they're doing here is they've set up essentially a honeypot or a fishing, honey hole type thing. And people that go to this game get compromised, and then so first of all, they do recon and then attack and actions on objectives. That's the first phase, just to get the victims in there. Then they iterate over on the recon to figure out who of the captured fish are worth basically pulling out of the boat. I'm not a big fisherman, but I think this analogy makes sense. The first thing is they're basically getting a bunch of fish to come into like a little backwater thing. And then when they pull out a small fish, they just throw it back in, pull out a small fish, throw it back in. They pull out a big catfish and they're like, hell yeah, throw it in the boat. Let's go. So that's what Lazarus is doing. super sophisticated. They've been around for years. The actual Department of Justice in the United States has an indictment out for the arrest of 5 members of Lazarus. I'm not super well versed on, geopolitical and nation state threat actors, but in the United States, you rotate every 3 years. So I don't even know if the people that the DOJ have indictments for are even with Lazarus Group still. Knowing what I think about Kim Jong-un and the North Korean regime, they probably are still there, but whatever. Yeah. So there you go. Avoid DeFi. NFT games. I thought NFTs were dead, honestly. I actually looked up Bored Ape Yacht Clubs yesterday just to see where their values were. They've gone down. The NFT market's trash. It was such a the whole thing was such a scam. So much scam. I still own 2 NFTs from an absolute rug pull, which I knew I was getting rug pulled when I did it, but I wanted to understand how NFTs worked and what the big deal was. So I invested a little bit of money knowing that it was a stupid, like it was like, I don't even want to call it gambling. Like I literally was like paying to get educated, not investing. I was like, I'm not going to get this money back. Okay, let's go.
Are we ready to shift left on identity?
Nope. All right, check it out now. You guys are gonna love this. All right, now I want to say thank you for being here. Don't go anywhere because you're going to be loving it. It's going to be like McDonald's in here. You're going to be loving it, okay? This has been the Daily Cyber Threat Brief Podcast. Now, you first-timers here, I hope you stay. I hope you come back tomorrow. We loved having you. If you had a great experience, super happy for you. If you didn't have a good experience, I'm sorry. We tried. Every single day at the end of the hour, when the show ends, we don't go anywhere. We actually pivot to another show. It's a 30-minute Ask Me Anything show. Basically, you have questions, we have answers. I teach at the Citadel Military College Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I need to split out of here to go teach the cadets. I'm actually going to teach them lockpicking today, bringing in handcuffs and locks and showing them what's up. But we are very, very lucky to have in chat right now DJ Bisek. DJ Bisek's got a wealth of knowledge. Very, very seasoned network engineer who's now basically dual-hatted as a CISO or director of InfoSec or whatever you want to call it. He makes the choices. So you guys are going to be in his incredibly well-moisturized, soft hands for the remainder of the show. So please enjoy that. I had a great time today. I'm feeling good. I got to tell you, I'm getting the energy from you guys. You guys are definitely making me feel better and healthier. I was dragging my butt this morning. I've been up since 3 a.m. Hit go live. We were dealing with some troubles, and you guys brought the energy. I'm very grateful for it. So thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time for Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief at 8 a.m. Eastern. Okay, I'm Jerry, your chat. Until next time, stay secure. Don't go anywhere. You're in for a real treat, I promise you.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Today is Thursday, and it's my day to take over everything. If you guys have a question about anything, throw in a Q before it. Put like Q and then like colon or something. That way I can actually find it real quick. I like throwing up your everything on chat so you can actually see it. I want to put them on the actual screen so you guys can see the question that we're talking about and answering. Hey, you know what? I don't know where Jerry got that. I got manly hands. Actually, no. Maybe my hands are soft. I don't know. I think that one was out of left field. Well. All right. don't see a lot of questions here, but you know what? I am gonna come over here until we get questions, because I do have a whole bunch of stories that I saw that popped up, and we can just kind of run through these stories while you guys figure out questions that you want to ask. Let me move over here. So I saw this one in the news this morning. So all of these that I have up right now are probably within the last 2 to 3 hours were posted. So this one's saying 67% of organizations say employees lack basic security awareness. As a group, as a whole, as a community, that's one of the things we push, right? We're pushing to make sure that everybody understands cybersecurity, or as Jerry likes to call it, a lot of us like to call it cyber resiliency, because it's not security. We're trying to be resilient to the attacks. But I was kind of going through here, and in here, of course, this, amazingly enough, it comes from Fortinet's research. But it's saying that 62% of leaders anticipate that their employees will fall victim to threat methods used by AI. And I think everybody in chat can agree. I think that number is actually low. I think it's going to be higher. And the reason I think it's higher is because with AI, you've got the threat actors no longer are writing their own emails. Or, I mean, you've got Grammarly, you've got other things like that that can create emails that make it sound as though they're from the United States, that they're from UK. They can put those inflections in there. It says 31% of organizations do not monitor or manage the use of AI applications among employees. 31%, again, seems really low, because I would assume it's going to be maybe the flip-flop of that. I would say it's probably more like 69%. Most of the companies now, or a lot of companies, are work from home. You don't necessarily know what users are doing on their own machines. I mean, you send a machine to them to work on, but they could be sitting next to you. They could be sitting next to their computer that you sent them on their home machine. Big thing with that, we learned at the very beginning of all of this AI and ChatGPT of people copying and pasting stuff into ChatGPT that isn't a paid for, isn't basically siloed into their own, that they're putting stuff in there that's proprietary, that's IP for companies. So this goes into a whole bunch of. In fact, let me I'm gonna throw this in chat, and you guys can go through and read it. But this specific one is a big one, and I think this is something. Hopefully, it'll be covered soon. But I think this is one that you guys, everybody in chat, can take to their management or into their security, maybe into their SOC, or into somebody that's in security in their group, if it's not you, and bring it forth and say, hey, look, we need to push forward on making sure that everybody understands AI in the correct and proper uses of it. All right, I do see some questions in here. Let's roll over. Kind of scroll back. I think I saw one from. I see a lot of questions now. Okay, you're getting ready for your 90-day review at a new job. What do you bring and what do you ask? I would hope, Superset K, that over the last 90 days that you have written down and put forth what you've actually done in the last 90 days. You need to bring your accomplishments, what you've actually accomplished in the last 90 days, what you've learned in the last 90 days as an employee of this specific company. You know, the last 90 days at company X, I've learned how you do XYZ. Number one, having what you did over the last 90 days, your accomplishments, that helps. Questions to ask, where would you be going after? So after these 90 days, so I'm sitting in my 90-day review, what do the next 90 days bring? The next 180 days, next 365, where do you want me to be in the next 300 in the next year. I would also put forth in the next year, I want to be here. So you have your own personal goals within the company, and then you have the company goals that you can bring forth, because the company's going to have specific goals, and you want to make sure that you align your goals with the company. All right. Eric Taylor popped in here and is going to star some or pin some questions up here. I have an interview tomorrow. It's to get into pen testing administration. Wait, it's to get into a penetration testing academy, 30 minutes. What could they likely ask? What could I ask them? Okay, you have an interview tomorrow to get into. Is this for a job? I'm not I don't necessarily understand what we're asking here. If you're trying to get into a pen testing academy, not sure what 30 minutes is. You have a 30-minute interview. What could they likely ask? What could I ask them? Nervous I'm about. Still building my. I'm not really, like I said, I'm not really sure what you're asking here. So if you're trying to get a job in pen testing, and I'm assuming this is what you're asking, you're trying to get a job in pen testing, and it's a pen testing academy or something along those lines. Depends on what it is. Are you going to be teaching? Are you going to be learning? Trying to just I kind of need to understand a little bit more. Robin, put a little bit more into what that question is about. We'll come back to it. What cybersec tools are most widely used and or more important to learn and get experience with? Follow up. Are there any alternatives to the more popular tools you consider? So this is a wide-ranging question, right? What are the most popular cybersecurity tools? It depends on what you're doing. Are you doing threat hunting? Are you doing blue teaming? Are you doing red teaming? It's all over the board. So on most of my stuff is going to be doing some threat hunting, going to be doing some blue teaming stuff. On those sides, honestly, one of the most important ones is having some type of SIM in place. So being able to read logs, being able to find logs, being able to backdate and find out what happened when something occurred. Those are the most important. Depends on what you're doing. Like in digital forensics, you've got a whole bunch of different tools over in digital forensics, like FTK Imager, that you're going to pull down specific images. That way you can go through and look at the image and find out what's going on within the RAM of when the machine got hit. That's a wide-ranging question. Are there any alternatives to most popular tools? So as a tool in itself, like most popular tools, you're going to have, there are tons of tools for the specific thing, right? So you have a SIM. In those SIMs, you've got Sentinel-1, you've got Microsoft Sentinel, you've got Elk Stacks. I mean, there's tons of different tools out there. It's whatever the company is using is what's going to be out there. It's not necessarily going to be what's best, what's the most widely used. The tool itself or the organization is going to be using a specific tool because cost, in all reality. Toasty Boy Productions, can you share about your professional journey? So, Jerry likes to say that I'm CISO, IT director, or IT security director. That is not my title right now. Over the last 5 to 10 years, a lot of the focus has been moved towards security. So in doing so, I've dealt with building out a security platform within the company, doing multiple things, building out security training for people, making sure the companies understand what security should look like, building out metrics. So say, hey, you are now at a You know, you give a 1 to 5. In this specific category, you're a 1. Let's try and get you up to a 3. You're over here on this category, you're a 4. You're good. Let's stay stable. As a company as a whole, you want to pull everything together. Professionally, I started out in help desk long time ago. Moved up through the ranks, got into what I love doing, networking, making everything come together as one. And then from there, it was kind of more of a pivot to, hey, we need to focus on security. I'll take the hit. I'll take the hit and stay up all the time. Read all the feeds, figure out what's going on. And from that state, basically learn how cyber works. Got into a whole bunch of different groups. This is one of the groups. Have a whole bunch of friends in the groups now that do a whole bunch of different things. We got Eric Taylor over here. We got Jerry. We got Casually Joseph. We got J-Mod. All the moderators. Everybody's got their own little niche in what they do. So being able to reach out to individuals. Being a CISO doesn't necessarily mean you know every single thing. It means that you understand security. To me, it means you understand security in a whole, in a holistic frame, and how a company can benefit from having the correct stuff in place and help them be more secure, be more resilient, and then using the people that you know, not necessarily using them, but contacting the people that you know when things arise and say, hey, I haven't seen this. Do you know what's going on with this? Or as a company, we're part of Industry X, and have you guys seen things have you guys seen any transitions to maybe threat actors coming towards this sector or so forth? So I've been doing this stuff for 20 to 25 years. I know I look like I'm 21, but I've been doing it for a while, and starting out at the bottom. I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, and a lot of people want to jump out of college and be, the hacker of all hackers and make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and this is how it's supposed to be. But when everybody says you really have to pay your dues, it's not necessarily, hey, you need to go do help desk, need to go be a SOC analyst, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's more along the lines of, you need to understand from top to bottom or bottom to top of what's going on to be able to get to where you want to be. Everybody is not just going to walk out of college with a bachelor's degree or leave a bachelor's program and go into a master's program or a PhD or something along those lines and then come out and just get this perfect job that they're going to have. You've got to understand everything. Even Casually Joseph right now. Look, here comes Eric.
Hey, bud.
Casually Joseph right now. He's going into his master's. He's been doing work on the side. He works with Eric. He does a lot of work and understands what's going on in the industry and knows bottom to top.
Hey, can you hear me? Your mic is gone really, really horrible.
Maybe it's the music.
Yeah, I was pinging you on that as well. But your mic is like very staticky.
Now's it better?
No, sir.
Let me turn this down.
Your audio and video sync is also off.
Oh, man. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Troubleshoot live. I think Jerry did this to me. Let's see if I failed over. Maybe I failed over to my backup. It doesn't look like that to me. Maybe it could be restream. If you look on YouTube, is yours off too?
No, sir.
Everybody's like, oh my God, I don't hear anything.
You want to go off screen and then come back on and see if that helps?
This up. Yeah, see if it still sounds staticky. Hold on.
It does.
Is it really bad now?
It sounds a little bit more
Yeah, I
amplified
cranked
now.
it way up, but okay, let's do.
No,
let me
it's
drop off and then we'll see if it works.
While we're waiting on DJ Basic, we'll play a little bit of music here. So I'm not sure if he's just going to jump off and jump right back onto the screen itself, or if he will be disconnected from Restream and looks like he's going to be disconnected and rejoining. So what's going on, everybody? I've been doing my best trying to make sure I tag all the questions for DJ BSEC. Fred on, we're working on it, bud. We're working on it. That's what we tell Jerry to do all the time. What's going on, Clifton? Hello, 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 hello. Shut it down. I gotta get my stream deck working again properly. I gotta get the Dolphin. Yeah, Joseph, it's that static got pretty bad for a second there. Let me hop back over to mod chat. All right, I'll answer this one because I think Sentinel's toying with me. HUMINT or CTI? HUMINT is human intelligence. It's mental warfare, if you will. It's the study of human behavior, and CTI is counterintelligence, right? No, but yeah, I mean it's two different spectrums, right? So CTI is more the technology, and HUMINT is for the human aspect of things.
Do I sound any better?
Oh my gosh, yes, sir.
I think it was Chrome with Restreams in. Well, I just shut Chrome down and log back in.
Gotcha.
Stupid Restream.
I just killed the Restream audio. So I'll go back into the green room. Just let you know your music was not playing a little bit ago. So if you want to work on that, and I'll be standing by if you need me.
It should be on. I just had it low.
I'm still not here.
Oh,
no,
you don't? Do you not hear that?
No, sir.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. All right, sir. You have the driver's seat.
Uh-oh. All right. All right, I turned down. Oh, man. The soft voice is back? As in, like, oh, there we go. The velvety tones. It's not the voice, it's the microphone. All right, let's switch back over to here. That way we've got everybody's chats up. We got a whole bunch pinned. Eric pinned a whole lot. Oh. All right, let's see. I got one. It's going to go down here. What do you do if you have Carl as your main software? Oh, I'm going to stop right there. If you have Carl as your main software architect, then you stop right away. And your main developer lead, who is in charge of you as well. Make everything into a book. That is bad. So software architecture, software development, what you need to do when it comes to this is you've got to put in place static or dynamic code analyzation. You have to have that in place because at that point, from a security standpoint, if you're just allowing your software developers, architecting is completely different than developing, right? So the architect the way it should work is a software architect should sit down and go, what is it that we're trying to build? And then go, this is how we're going to build it, right? Top down, we're going to be using this type of database. We're going to be using this type of front end. We're going to be using this type of back end. All of that in place. and build that out, right? Just like a network architect or a network engineer is going to sit there and go, hey, to build out this network, we're going to use this type of router, we're going to use these type of switches, we're going to be using this type of firewall. And that's fine and dandy, right? You can put it all down on paper. But then once you take that individual, you bring him into the room, you tell all the developers this is what we're going to do, and then those developers go, okay, and then they start banging out code. At that point, if there's not something in the middle or something in the pipeline that's checking that code, guess what? You're going to have open APIs. You're going to have holes everywhere. You need to have something in place, whether it's static or dynamic, have some type of check in place. Then what you need to do is before that thing goes live, you really need to make sure that you have a red team or a pen test done on the application, on the software that you're making, right? And that way when it's all said and done and it's turned over and they go live, that you as the individual, you as the security engineer or whomever can honestly look at somebody and say, we've done or they've done everything they can to make sure that it's secure. That doesn't mean there aren't bugs in it. That doesn't mean that there aren't holes in it. But as it relates to the software and the tools that we have, we believe that everything is secure. And we will continue at this. And then, of course, you go into maintenance mode and you start analyzing everything. You make sure that you're doing prioritization and things at the end. But as somebody that's doing software architecture, that's doing development, you've got to make sure. And if that's not in place, then if I were you, I would bring that forth. Hey, I'm doing everything I can to write secure code. That doesn't mean that every single thing that I do or everything that I write is secure. Can we get a static tool or a dynamic tool that can come in and check my code, check and make sure that everything that I'm putting in is as secure as we think it can be or as secure as the tool thinks it can be? 100%. Also at this, from this specific one, that's pretty much the only way you're going to be able to get around Carl as your main software architecture or the main developer. What you need to do is you need to make sure that you're doing everything you can to CYA, right? Because you're going to put your name, even though this person is going to be the lead, your name is still going to be on that product. So you're going to make sure that everything you do is good. This one says part 2. Maybe this was the first one. Real quick, I'm pivoting from HR admin. All right. HR admin, I'm in school for IT and I'm redoing my resume. Does it make sense to y'all to use bits of completed course objects in a resume? Don't use bits. Don't use a little bit of this course and a little bit of that course. Finish the course out, then say that, hey, I finished this course. Not every single course gives you a completion note or a completion certification or certificate saying that you completed it. But don't, if a course has 10 chapters in it or 10 modules in it and you did 4 of them, don't say, oh, I did 4 modules. Because you know what that would, to me, if you walk in and you're gonna look to get a job or you're gonna interview for a job for me and you said, oh, I did 4 out of the 10 modules, you know what that means to me? You don't complete stuff. That's my first thing is, well, why didn't you finish it? Finish the whole thing, understand what's going on there, and move forward. And yeah, at that point you can put that stuff. I would put that stuff on your resume. I think last week we were talking about this and Eric said something about putting a different selection in the resume, maybe like not necessarily a miscellaneous, but like continuing education. And that's what I would put in there, like a continuing education section, and say, you know, I listen to the daily cyber brief every day. I've done, you know, hack the box on this. I've done try hack me, and these are the modules that I've done, and I've done the blue stuff and try hack me. Go through. You can put that stuff in there. What I would also do, and what we've constantly said around here, is make a blog or something along those lines. A lot of us like to create GitHubs, put stuff in GitHub. As you go through the modules, maybe write down what you did in the module. That way you can actually put your GitHub on your resume and people can actually go out and see that. Because I will tell you this, as an interviewer, when somebody sends a resume and it's got a YouTube channel on there or a GitHub on there or something along those lines, the interviewee or the interviewer is going to say, oh, okay, and spend 10, 15 minutes and go through. They're not necessarily going to go through every single thing in your GitHub, but they're going to go, oh, this person did XYZ. Here's all the folders and here's their write-up, so I can see that they're thorough in their work. That's how I would look at it. And then we've got, looks like we got a part 2. So I do labs, work virtual machines, tinker with code, and more. I don't claim to be an expert, but I do have experience in all entry-level positions where I require. Yeah, so exactly, and then put those labs and stuff in those write-ups. That way they can see those. I did the Carl one. Did that one. Interesting question here. So many companies have moved into SaaS. For those of y'all who don't know, that's software as a service to replace in-house systems. But so many SaaS providers are less secure than they should be. How do you vet a third party, your tool provider? So when it comes to something along these lines, you have to have a third party, basically a third party register, right? So as somebody that's in security, that's doing it for a company, what you need to do is you need to create a third party register, and you've got to have something. You've got to have, number one, you need to have a policy in place about other departments not going out and just purchasing software or purchasing hardware and throwing it in. So you don't want to have all of these random softwares all over the place. They need to involve IT. They need to involve security, whichever group. Number one, you don't need all this shadow IT in here. Once you have that register, then a lot of companies have third party. They'll have a nice long 1,000-question spreadsheet that they send out for those third parties. That third party has to sit here and go through. It's basically like a risk register to decide whether or not this company or this third party is okay to do business with. You know, do they have backups? You're going to take, as software as a service, you're going to take all of your information, you're going to throw it into this person's or this company's software, but do they have backups? What's going to happen if they go down? Do they have a backup? Do they have a disaster recovery? Do they have a business continuity plan? If they don't have a business continuity plan, then what happens to your business if that software does go down or that site goes down where you're putting everything? So there is a lot to think about when you're moving from one to another. You also need to realize that when you have stuff in-house, uptime is for you to deal with, right? Server goes down, guess what? You've got to go deal with it. The internet goes down, you've got to deal with that. You've got to explain all that. When the SaaS product goes down, that's out of your hands. You don't get to decide when that comes back up, whether or not there's recovery. So that needs to be explained up to the management, right? That needs to go to the higher up managers. That needs to go up to your C-suite. They need to understand that when you take this product offline, which isn't a bad thing, but when you take this product offline and you put it into the cloud, there could be the possibility that there could be more downtime. You may have you may have your 5 nines or always be up with all your local stuff. But now that you've moved it, now you have to deal with DNS issues. You've got to deal with SaaS. You've got to deal with the actual providers. If they have issues, what happens if that provider gets popped? All kinds of different things. So there are tools out there. There are actually companies out there that you can subscribe to that will go out and do your third-party risk assessment for that company and then give you back a scorecard for them. We did the cyber tools. Did that one. Erica Fish, I don't know what you're talking about here. Can you explain C2 servers by use? Oh, I think what you want me to do is you want me to draw so you can make a meme of me like you did Eric. Is that what we're looking for? Eric's MS Paint here. Look. So I guess we'll try this. Let's move this over real quick. We only got a couple more minutes left, so I don't have MS Paint, but I can draw on my screen. So if we're gonna do this, and we're gonna have a cloud, MS Paint cloud. There we go. Everybody start laughing. So we got a cloud, and then we've got this like little server over here. Actually, let's make it red. We got this little server over here, and it kind of goes like this and like this, and then we got a yellow box, which is Haircut Fish's box, right? Because he sits out here and he plays on the internet all day long, and his internet's going this way and this way, right? So he goes over here and he gets on. Oh, we'll make another. Oh no, I just got rid of my whole screen. Let's try this one more time. I'm gonna do it fast. Okay, here's our cloud. Woo, perfect cloud. I feel like nice little clouds, nice little trees. We have our box here, we have our box here, we have a box here, and then we have our traffic. So we got our traffic here, we got a traffic here, we got traffic there and there, we got traffic here and here, and we got our attacker, A for attacker, and then we got Haircut Fish down here, and he's playing. Yeah, there you go, the happy little cloud, and he's playing video games, and he decides what he wants to do is go download an in fact, let's say the attacker is here. All right, and then we've got another box here that's got the video game in here. We'll put it like more like a man in the middle type of thing here. So we got something like this, and now we got Haircut Fish, and he's coming over here and he wants to play this video game, but in the middle, the attacker put something in place and it downloads into his box, right? So now he's on his box and he's playing his video game, but what he doesn't realize is he's got a Trojan virus in the background that's running that has now put a C2 instance. So let me make a C2 instance. So he's got this C2 server. This attacker has this C2 server over here that he's put in place, and now Haircut Fish is over here playing, Barbie or whatever on his machine. And now guess what? Now that he's downloaded this, put it in place, because he downloaded a new Steam. He downloaded what he thought was Steam, put it on his machine, and it's not necessarily Steam, it's more like Stream. So he downloads this, and now it starts beaconing out, right? And so it's beaconing. In fact, let me change this to blue. This is so horrible. It's beaconing out to this C2 server, and it's saying, hey, guess what? Haircut Fish is now online. Let's take over his machine. So then at that point, the attacker's like, oh, okay, C2 server over here. Whoop. C2 server is talking back and forth and saying, hey guys, I see Haircut Fish. And boom, there we go. Now Haircut Fish is popped. There you go. Let me switch this over. All right, I hope everybody got a good laugh out of that, and we'll probably see a meme pretty soon. Jerry, I could tell you how I got so handsome, but we'd have to bring my parents online, and that's a whole different thing. All right, we're at 8:30. We'll take a couple more questions. This is a good one. Making the transition from service desk to SOC, currently studying for CYSA, and let's defend any suggestions to supplement learning. Studying for CYSA and let's defend that. To me, that's you're right on track, right? That's no big deal. Do you have Sec Plus? Old Jesse Johnson does some Sec Plus stuff every single week. On the weekend, and does training. They go through a lot of the Sec Plus stuff, so he could help you out some. You can meet up on his YouTube channel, and they go through a whole bunch of different stuff. I don't know if you've already got Sec Plus or not, but I would go over there, because that's supplemental training, and what Jesse does over there. Myself, I go over there sometimes and am on stream with him. So is Casually Joseph, but they run through all of the different Sec Plus questions, and it's not just a hey, here's the question. This is a question. Oh, that was the answer, and move on. Depending on if everybody in chat understands what's going on and they understand why the answer is what it is, then they'll move on. If not, then guess what? We'll spend some time and we'll talk through why and give out real scenarios of why it is what it is. So that would be a supplemental learning plan. Because I know I myself right now in the middle of going through the long, I don't know where it's at. Here it is. Going through the long 11-hour CISSP book because I plan on taking that probably by the end of November. It gets crazy when it's just you sitting there reading a book all the time and trying to learn. So it's great when you have people around that are doing the same thing, that are talking the same jargon, and it gets stuck in your head a little bit longer. It's an internship. Okay, we talked about this earlier. She was going for a threat pen tester academy internship. So if it's an internship, then what I would do if I'm talking to them, just let them know that this is where you want to be, right? You're currently working to move into a pen testing role, and getting this internship would mean the world to you because guess what? Now what you need to do, and with this, it'll allow you to understand pen testing to a greater height, right? For me, something along those lines, I would tell them, or I would discuss with them and let them know that pen testing is the role that you're looking for. This specific internship would move that forward, and on top of that, it allows you to get that real world experience, and that you understand that getting a job in pen testing isn't necessarily going to be like, hey, I did a whole bunch of labs and so forth, and I want to get a pen testing job. But having an internship will allow me to have that experience. So when I do look for when I am ready to go find that job, I can say, hey, look, I had an internship and this is who I worked with and this is what we did. And it gives you that real world experience. That's how I would bring it forth to them, and why you want to be part of the internship. I got a couple more. I just got hired at another Big Four for digital risk. I want to know what your recommendation for finding projects with AI security. Oh man, I do not know about projects for AI security. You know who has been crushing it for AI security has been Jack Scott. Check out Jax on LinkedIn. See everything she's been doing. She actually has a course on AI security. Let me see if I can find it. She put out a course, and I don't know if anybody has that course. Trying to find Jax on here, but she put a course out over AI security, going through a whole bunch of different stuff. Oh, come on, LinkedIn. Jax is great. Not seeing a post about it. I know she's got a post around here somewhere about it. I don't want to sit here and not be on the mic and not be talking with my velvety voice, as everybody likes to say, but I really want to find, you know what? Make sure you're in Discord. Let me do this. Discord, and I will find that and I'll put it in the general chat in Discord. Why did that? I put Discord. Oh, did it not pull it up? I put Discord and then it pulled up the redeem gifts. But I'll find the link to her AI security stuff, and I will put it into Discord. All right, one last one, and then we're out of here. It's 8:36, and I've got to run. I heard during the stream today that threat actors are stealing session cookies as an increasingly common attack vector. doesn't that negate multi-factor if they get the session cookie access? Yes, I don't think that was that today. I don't think that was in today, but yes, to answer your question, the answer is 100% yes. If a threat actor, so this is something that has become more and more prevalent, and this is something I've talked about with I've talked about internal to some of my users, is threat actors are more and more going after cookie sessions. And man, when we were in Wildest Hackfest, I know Eric and I were talking about this online when I was in the hotel, and he was but they're going after session cookies, and the reason they're going after session cookies is because that allows them not to worry about MFA. They can get around MFA by logging in as themselves, dumping in your session cookie or your token, and then just bypassing MFA. So as a defense mechanism, what we need to do is we need to make sure that those session cookies are dropped down, whether they are, you can now tie session cookies to the actual machine. You can do a whole bunch of different other things to defend against this stuff. But yes, 100%. If somebody is able to steal a session cookie or a session token, then they can get access to you or to your account directly and log in as you. All right, that is going to do it for today. It is 8:38. We did have a couple of problems. Apparently my voice blew out the microphone. Let me drop this off. Let's hide that. Let's switch over to here. Everybody, today, let's not forget today at 4:30, as long as Jerry's voice is working, which I'm sure he'll make sure it will for this one. Today at 4:30, we have transitioning into cybersecurity leadership with Naomi Buckwalter. She's going to be on. She's going to be talking about transitioning from cyber into the leadership role of cyber, and it should be a good one. So make sure around 4:30 Eastern time, at 3:30 Central or God's time, like Jenny Housley and I used to like to say, because we're in Central. The transitioning into cyber with Naomi Buckwalter. So everybody, today, let's have a great day. Everybody stay secure, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, and we should have the jaw-jacking panel, and I do think Jerry's going to try and run another hype, Simply CyberCon hype session. So everybody get ready for next week, where we have Simply CyberCon next Friday. All right, everybody, until then, everybody stay secure, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. we're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.